Now, this next title is one I'm personally very, very excited about, given the fact that when I took one look at the trailer, the striking visual style just grabbed me. It's an evolution of cyberpunk, a game called The Last Night. Here to talk about it is the creative director at Odd Tales. Join me in welcoming Tim Sauret.
Hello,
Pleasure,
Sean.
Tim.
Hello.
Welcome.
Pleasure for me.
Thanks for coming out. Let's ask the obvious question. What is The Last Night?
The Last Night is what we call a cinematic platformer, which means it's not a game like Mario where you have to jump from platform to platform, but it's more story-driven. It's more reminiscent of old classics like Another World, Flashback, or Oddworld even.
Oddworld, I was going to say, it reminded me quite a bit about it. And I saw that you guys had the big announcement reveal at Microsoft yesterday. I mean, that trailer was such a hit. It blew up. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, we are obviously super happy with the trailer reception. It's been absolutely incredible. Now, of course, I have some concerns I want to address. I am embarrassed by some tweets I made in the past. I want to apologize for those. They do not in any way represent who I am today or what The Last Night will be about.
Well, let's talk about what the game is about. I know that the setting of The Last Night is super important to the character of the game. Tell me, where are we right now?
I want you to imagine a world where machines are surpassing us in every possible way,
Right.
So not only physically, but also intellectually, emotionally, even creatively.
So in a sense, like any job that you could possibly imagine, an AI does better.
Absolutely.
Including being a host for a PC gaming show.
Including that.
Well, I imagine, thank you, this one person who is also excited about the booth. Now, in terms of this world, this must give a kind of sense of existential crisis to all the inhabitants.
Yeah, like the way I can...
Like, what is it like to be a person in this world?
So, in a world where you're not valuable anymore in production,
Yeah.
the only thing you can really do is to consume endlessly, right? So what you're trying to see with this game is how do you define yourself, when you don't have anything to create or to strive for.
Yeah, and I can see, obviously there's the futuristic lighting and the visuals, but there's also that sort of drab, dreary tone. This art style is amazing. I mean, all of these assets are in 2D, but it has so many modern effects. How did you even think of this?
So it all comes down to my background in VFX and advertising, basically. So I wanted to, explore what I could do with 2D and pixel art, and just augment that and enrich it with like modern techniques of lighting and compositing.
Right. And we've talked a little bit about where we are, about the art style. Who are you? Who do you play as in The Last Night?
Yeah, so the character you get to play is a young idealist, I would say.
Yeah.
And because of a childhood accident, he cannot enjoy the same gamified, augmented life than everybody else.
Right.
So because of that, he wants to change the world. And
You want to have like an impact and a meaning.
Absolutely. So on his way to do that, he's going to meet some questionable characters you have to trust or not on your way.
What about the gameplay? What are the things that, if I'm the player, what do I do in The Last Night?
So we took inspiration from some classic genre like point and click and adventure games.
Yeah.
But so you get to solve puzzles and dialogues, of course. But we added a real-time component to it.
Real-time in what sort of sense? What makes it a real-time puzzle?
So it means that while you are busy breaking in an apartment, for instance, all the simulation is still happening around you. So police come around, and you have to be careful about that.
So in a sense, like, if I tried to break into the apartment at night, the police might be on patrol at that time, but if I came in the morning, there might be no police, but the resident might be home.
Absolutely, yeah. So that means that, if you see the police coming around the corner, you better, just hide, pretend to be a hobo, or maybe draw your gun.
You also mentioned that the structure of the game is in one night after the other. What's that like?
Yeah, so the game is structured around several nights, so it spans on several nights, and they are all interconnected, which means that what you tell people on the very first night, and what you do also is all remembered.
So if I'm just in a conversation and just walk away in the middle of it?
Yeah, they will remember it.
They'll remember, like 2 days later, they'll be
absolutely.
angry.
Yeah.
That's fast. That must add a huge amount of replayability since the world is just changing based upon
Yeah,
your
we're taking
inputs.
a lot of pleasure to hide a lot of stuff in the city, and we hope the community will have fun to figuring that out collectively. So, yeah.
Well, again, I love the art style. I love these story-driven adventure games. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Sean.
I'm looking forward to it. Cheers.